Hey y'all, this is your girl Lisa, and it is Friday. It is the beginning of the weekend. It is Easter weekend. It is a long weekend for everybody. I hope everybody has had a great day. Oh, it's been a few since I've been on here, so um, a lot has gone on in the world since the last time I was on here ranting about the state of our lives. And the most explosive, well, let me say this. Starting with the Nickelodeon ID special and culminating with Homeland Security raiding Diddy's two compounds, I guess, one in California, one in Florida, and handcuffing his sons and him gone. It led me to think about that so much is going on and we're just not safe. Our kids aren't safe. Women aren't safe. Young black men aren't safe. It, it's it's it it's mind boggling, and sometimes you don't know exactly what to think or where to go or what to do. So I decided that I'm going to throw my 2 cents in a few different topics, um, because I have people that I love, and father didn't know I turned 57 on March 13th. And I just knew when I was younger, when I was a teenager, I just knew by the time I was this age, if I made it to this age, that things would be so much better for my people, for women, for black women, for black people as a whole. I just knew we would be in a much better place. I just knew the state of the world would be in a much better place because we would make advances in science and art and 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 just people. I knew that. But the last few years have taught me that that's just not how it is. The last few years have taught me how easy it is to go backwards, how easy it is to slip back into the old atrocities that were commonplace in our time and in our world. And I want to start with the Nickelodeon thing. I really wasn't a Nickelodeon mom. Nick wasn't a Nickelodeon kid. We were Disney, Phineas and Ferb, that kind of situation. And so I really didn't. We didn't watch iCarly and things like that. I mean, I knew about them. You know, as you flip channels on the TV, you know about them. And but I didn't. I wasn't invested into that. So I have always, I've always taken issue with, and I know it's bad because women are just as bad as men at this, but in a public setting, women have a hard time too. So that's why I'm about to say what I'm about to say. I've always taken issue with men being touchy feely and upfront with children that aren't theirs. Let me say it again. I'm not talking about fathers being fathers because I also take issue when people sexualize a father being a father, lifting his child in the air, hugging his child, holding his child, sitting his child in his lap. That's his job. That's their daddy. That's what he's for. That's safety. Daddy is safety. Strange ass man on TV is not. And I think that we as parents get caught up in the, ooh, my child is going to be a star. Ooh, I can be a momager or a dadager. Ooh, I cannot have to work anymore because I got this child who is this cash cow, for lack of a better term. Look at Honey Boo Boo starting off in t- what is it, toddlers and tiaras, and her mother making an entire situation about Honey Boo Boo, and now that baby ain't got no money. Now the mama didn't do nothing. Now the baby ain't got no money. She don't have money to go to college. So a parent can take advantage of you, but I digress. So as I was watching this and I was watching the interaction and I was listening to the jokes. Now I am, for the most part, I am liberal to moderate. I'm not conservative because I think when you stifle, I think when you don't make things available, I think when you overparent or over uh rule. I don't mean like overrule something. I mean like you have an extraordinary amount of rules on something. I think that children across the board will find a way to break those rules and leave you out of the loop. And I think that that's not as healthy as we parents think it is. Because if you know anything, if a toddler can find a way, a teenager can. Um, but I think that when it comes to having your children in a setting to where it was mind-boggling, the jokes that were told on this show, because now I go back and I listen to them. I listen to the jokes, I see the imagery, and I'm like, I feel like that's not for kids because it made me uncomfortable. I'm an adult. I've seen things. I've experienced things that 99% of teenagers have not. But I was uncomfortable with some of the imagery and the jokes on these shows. And I'm like, was nobody paying attention? Who was allowing this? And so I watched the documentary and I see that in an effort, I, I start, let me start. I blame in some of these instances the parents, because the reality is you can be a sick, twisted, perverted individual, but if you don't have any victims, you just sit your sick, twisted, perverted ass over there by yourself twiddling your thumbs. If you don't have victims, if you don't have a ready stash or supply of what you find attractive to victimize, then you're nothing. I couldn't imagine being a parent watching some episodes of these shows that were on here and some of these jokes and some of the situations that they put these young people in, and being a parent and going, "Ooh, that's what I want for my kid." I don't want you to watch the show, let alone be on the show. Because let me tell y'all something, all money ain't good money. If you pay attention to some of these young people on these shows on Nickelodeon, the only one that has had a roaring amount of success is Ariana Grande. And she got out of movies. She got out of television. She went into singing. But where are the people that are protecting these children? The parents are the first line of defense. No, sir, you can't do that to my child. No, sir, you can't be alone in the room with my child. No, sir, you can't sit next to my child like that on camera and put your hand on her leg. No, sir, you can't do that. I don't care how much money you're offering me. Because guess what? If your child is talented, if your child, this is what they want to do, and you the kind of parent that's going to do whatever your baby need to do to get where your baby want to be, then you'll find someone that is not going to make it so that your child is, as an adult, not functioning. You hear these stories, but if you don't follow along, then they're taken out of context. But once I watched this show, now I understood why the young lady from iCarly, not the dark haired one, but the blonde one, got out of acting. Amanda Bynes went from being this vibrant, beautiful little girl who was in these movies and who you just knew was going to keep going, to all of a sudden, she completely lost her mind. Because at 13 years old, a grown man assaulted her, made her have an abortion, and then on every occasion he could find possible, publicly on TV, re victimized her constantly. Where are the parents in these situations? Where are the mom and daddies going, you know what? Come on, baby. You can work at McDonald's. You can work at Pizza Hut. Come on, let's go. Sometimes it's not about living in a 5-bedroom McMansion. It's about living in a 2-bedroom apartment, because in that 2-bedroom apartment, my child is happy and safe. In this mansion that I am making my child feel like they need to support me to keep up, my child is not happy and safe. The parents on there were killing me, acting like it happened to them. It didn't happen to y'all grown rusty ass. It happened to y'all babies while y'all was sitting there trying to figure out when you can get this extra dollar out of this. You can get an extra scene or an extra line in the movie or in the show. Hold on, y'all. Okay, ain't got no glasses on. Give me a second, because I can't see. Hi. Hi, Macy. How you doing? Thank you. I get it. Nick wanted to, we took Nick to an interview for one of these I guess management companies that have a stash of children actors that they can parlay out into, Nickelodeon, whatever, these channels that cater to children and young adults. And when you go through it, you're thinking that this is going to be a management situation and that, they're going to give you the ins and the outs. So Nick got picked to go back to the second round. Now, the second round was I guess like a conference, like a week thing that you go to, but we had to pay for that. So it wasn't an interview so much as a multi-level. What are those things called when you have those schemes, those pyramid schemes? That's really what it felt like. But the reality is there were thousands of people there for that. And there are only a few hundred, if that many, children actors that we see. Imagine the amounts of money that was made that day on these people that were thinking that it was an investment in their child's future, when in reality, if your child goes from 5'4" to 6 feet in 6 months, then your child is aged out of everything they can do. So now what are you going to do with your 6 foot tall 12-year-old that can't be in all these shows that a 12-year-old can be in? Or like me, I went from being a little girl that looked like a little girl to a little girl that was built like an adult, from the 6th grade to the 7th grade over the summer. So what were you going to do with a child that didn't look childlike? There's nothing for that. All there is now the management place telling you that you no longer fit what they're looking for. I hold parents, because that's who we are. We are the first line of defense. We are we are the soldiers. We are the snipers. We are the battlefield. I mean, we are the tanks. We are everything to our kids. And even if we got to make our kids sad for a minute, I'd rather for Nick to be sad for a minute than to be miserable for a lifetime. Because none of these babies look happy. You got Drake and Josh. He was Drake Bell, one of the people who worked for the Nickelodeon show he was on. That person got 16 months in jail. He served 6. He is now actively working on another children's show, even though he's a level 1 sex offender. And now they try to make it so that Drake is not a victim, but he's a victimizer, because it makes a better story. It gives them a way to feel good about having this predator on the set, with kids coming up now. And who is doing anything about it? Who is saying, I'm not working, my child is not working here if this man works here? Why don't we you know what? You know what? You know what? As a parent, we can't be, I know that we can't be everywhere all the time. As a parent, I know that things can happen to our children that are out of our control. I get all that. But I can't imagine allowing Dan Schneider, the it was amazing how people bowed to this man. Adult women. He didn't just harass children. He harassed adult women, and even the people working on his show knew what he was doing, and still let children be behind closed doors with him. Now they're speaking about a young man who was on iCarly, and his name is, I think, is Jerry Trainer, and he played iCarly's brother. And he spent the majority of his career trying to keep Dan away from the young girls on the shows that he was on. That's how we're all supposed to be. It don't have to be my child. If I go somewhere and I see your baby being victimized, even in a slight way, as a parent, as a mother, as a person who knows how it feels to have no one listen to you and no one pay attention and people allow things to happen to you. It is up to us to go, hey, don't do that. It's not your kid. I don't care. It ain't yours either. I I want to blame the people who did what they did, and I do. I blame Dan Schneider. I don't remember the other guy's name, but he was a talent something on the show, and there was a couple of other people. And this has been on all kind of shows, and you can go back to the reality is that children are not meant for Hollywood because Hollywood is bad on adults, on grown-ups. And we need to have more things in place to safeguard our children. I, I am so glad that my child is now a young man, but I have a grandbaby. And one day my son will have a kid. And then I'll have to start this cycle all over again of worrying about the world that my child, that children that I love walk around in. Money is not more important than your baby. Money and status and a job in Hollywood or New York or whatever is not more important than the health and well-being of your kid. Telling your kid no is okay. I don't think you're ready for that, baby. That's a lot. That no is not as harsh as growing up and seeing your, and the killer part, and it just dawned on me, and that's crazy. These kids revisit the trauma over and over again because they still play the shows. Because you know what? Because we don't worry about it. Because we don't think that there's anything wrong. The kids needed the opportunity and he provided the opportunity. He wasn't that bad. The kids didn't say nothing. But what if your kid did say something? Do you know how many children tell their parents that so and so touched me, so and so rubbed up against me, your boyfriend, my cousin? You know how many kids tell their parents or parental figures that and are not believed? Do you know how many children get put out because their mama thinks they DC is actually not here right now. So, but I will let her know you said hello. You know how many children tell their parents what has happened to them, and the parents say they misunderstood. Say, no, 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 no. I don't. You sure that's what happened? I think you might have misunderstood. I'm sure that they wouldn't do that. You know how many? Do you know how many children have heard their parents take somebody else's side? No, no, no. He wouldn't do that. He's not that kind of person. Oh, she didn't mean it that way. Do you know how many children have had to sit in their room and think about the fact that I just did exactly what my parents wanted me to do. Be open and honest with them. And as soon as I was the problem. Do you know how bad that is for a child moving forward in life? And I don't know if my words ever reach anybody that has actual power to make change. Maybe if my words reach one person who has the power to talk to another person, who then has the power to talk to another person, and then maybe we can agree that if you're going to bring kids into the world, that you got to protect them. I know that we living in a time of inflation where it costs $7,000 to live in a one-bedroom apartment in some places. But your kids have got to be more important. Like I said, sometimes it's better to live in a two-bedroom apartment and be happy and healthy than worry about whether or not you can get that five-bedroom standalone. So I'm gonna get off of that because it's a topic that we could talk about forever. And the reality is, if nobody in power is gonna do anything about it, then it's just us running our mouth and hoping things get better and hope things get better than as they go along. Um, on to Diddy. Here's the thing: I've never liked Diddy and none of his alliterations and none of his name changes. I didn't like him when he first came out with Big Papa. I just didn't. Uh, I don't know why. But here's the thing. Here's my problem. I didn't like him and Suge Knight and producers like him because, like Suge Knight said, if you don't want a producer popping up in your videos, come over here. But I didn't like Suge because I mean, you do you, but it's the talent for me. So I understand that you need producers and I understand all that. Don't get it twisted. I was singing before I could talk, but it's the talent for me. And that should always be more important than the little cogs behind the talent. So that being said, I've never liked it. I didn't like his clothes. I didn't care for him in any fashion. Um, I believe that because he was Diddy, he was able to get away with what he. Let me start by saying this: Homeland Security does not just arrest people. They don't just decide, you know what, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna arrest a famous hip hop, and now I guess you would consider him an icon. So I don't, but we'll go with that. Homeland Security just not sitting around the Homeland offices going, you know what? Let's do this. Let's go arrest a famous black person. They're not doing that. There's got to have some evidence. You got to have something for an arrest for an all-out Homeland Security assault on two multi-million-dollar properties. And maybe so I, y'all didn't get enough with Epstein. Y'all didn't get enough with the Epstein Island and all that stuff. For years, it has been talk of producers. And I keep calling. For years, we talk about Diddy doing nasty shit at his house and all the parties and stuff people have, and it's been talk about that for years. And it could have just been people that didn't get invited to the party. Cause I mean, haters everywhere. Just because I don't like Diddy didn't mean I hated on his hustle. I don't hate on nobody's hustle. I think if you got $1 billion, go make another billion. Shit. I, but I cannot. Well, I wish I had a couple 100,000 of your billion. I ain't mad at you for making your billion. So let me start with that. I'm not mad with anybody for making their money. I ain't mad with Beyonce. Y'all hear Jackson in the background. He thought he had something to say. I ain't mad with Beyonce, country fine. Come on now. I was born in the South. Every now and again, a country song come on, you got to tap your feet. I'm not mad with anybody getting their money. We'll start by saying that. That being said, I think that in some cases, with some people, money is not necessarily a good thing. Because if you already had certain proclivities and now you have unlimited funds and the power to, hold on, I don't look at the chat all the time because I get thrown off, y'all. Thank you, Eggman Rocks Coaches. How you doing? Happy Easter weekend to you. I think some people have the money and power to be a predator, then that's what you're going to be. Now, you already saw that Diddy figured out a way to make the most money with the least work. You already did. Because the reality is that by situating yourself as the brains and the talent behind the talent, people come to you. When in reality, without Biggie, Diddy would have been another ugly ass man sitting up there trying to get by. Because Diddy is, I never understood him. He just irks my spirit. He just does. He just does. No discernible. Now he got a talent for making money. I give him that. And that's a talent. Shit. Because a lot of us got $2.13. So do you. But he was just and smug and just irritating. Ugh. Something like that. But that being said, if he was an alright dude, you know what I'm saying? If he was an okay dude and he helped people and he was, I wouldn't have a problem with him. I just would dislike him. I kind of like Oprah. Now, does my dislike of anybody in that particular status mean anything? Absolutely not. I don't give a shit if I don't like them. They don't care if nobody likes them. But you don't have to be a predator. You don't have to victimize people because you just can't. And from what I understand, Diddy has been doing his level best to just act a fool because he could. And the reality is, people was allowing it. And now Young Mama of Miami or whatever that little girl name is, I don't even know who that little girl is. Now she look like she about to get in trouble. You ain't, girl. I'm so befuddled by all this. I just don't understand when it became okay. Look, let me tell y'all. Let me say this. Because I was about to say something, but then I have to qualify and let y'all know what I'm about to let y'all know where I come from before I say something. I am not approved at all. I believe that prostitution should be legal. I believe that's why we have so much sex trafficking, because it is illegal. Because if it's your ass and you want to sell it, you should be able to. If I think prostitution should be legal. I think that it should not, much like marijuana. I think that this country is very prudish. To be as perverse as this country can be, I think it is also prudish because it doesn't want to teach children about sexuality. It does to be a quote unquote Christian nationalist, follow the Bible, only have sex with babies, women only hear from husbands society. When the reality is, like I said, I firmly believe that sexuality is a completely and totally personal thing. And I have no problem. I have no problem with pornography. If you are adults and you want to record yourself doing the nasty, do it. And if somebody wants to watch, make them pay. I have no issue with any of that. I think it should be legal. I think certain aspects of sexuality for adults. Let me say one more time. Adults should be legal. I think because certain things are illegal, that's why we have the amount of crime in the aspects of those things. I think that we have sex trafficking because it's not legal and because the stigma attached to sex work is atrocious. The stigma attached to sex work, strippers, all that is bad. When in reality, that's a personal preference for an adult. And it should not be legal in my eyes. That being said, it hurts my spirit to know that there are people out there trafficking our young women and men. It hurts my spirit to know that there are adults with children. Now we're gonna take Diddy for an example because Diddy's who I'm talking about right now. Diddy has what, five or six kids. He has twin daughters. Now, what if somebody were to look at his daughters the way he looks at other people's children? There's nothing wrong with being gay. I am. The fact that there's such a stigma attached to it, that you have to do everything in your power to be as heterosexual as possible publicly so that you can be as homosexually privately. You should be able to be gay. If these people want to be bisexual, you should be able to be that. But society has made the stigma of men being with men so egregious that they would do anything to hide it. So now everything's supposedly coming out about different producers doing things to their artists, requiring male artists to do certain things, attracting female artists, but not for their artistry, but so they can sell them to this next dude, to this next homeboy who believes in this. It boggles the mind. But what really boggles the mind is all of the people who knew about it and kept quiet about it, and who waited till there was a bandwagon to jump on before they decided to say anything. Now, you can't tell me it was people at Diddy's house and at his parties that saw things and heard things. And it wasn't until now they decide that they want to jump on the Diddy bandwagon because he's being arrested. Well, was Diddy bad when he was doing it when you were there? Was what he was doing bad to you then? Why didn't you say something? I mean, because you're saying something now. People are coming out now talking about what Diddy did and what I saw. And what gets me is not the victims. I'm not talking about victims. So no mistake. I'm not talking about victims. I'm talking about the audience. I'm talking about the people who were sitting there because they got invited to the party and decided that everything was okay until they got home and talked about it. Did you see that? Well, that's just a mistake. When is the next Diddy party? You saw it and let it go on? You saw how he treated people and let it go on? You saw how the people that he brought around treated people? If I don't think he was inviting people like me to his house. So I'm assuming there was other people with money and status and power there. So the invite to be the cool kids and to not have to stand outside of the club was more important than your sensibilities and your spirit. Okay. Leilani! Hold on. Hey, cool gamer, how you doing? Hold on, Leilani. I'm gonna try to do the thing. You know to do the thing. But I don't know how to do the thing. There it is. Copy. Hold on. I'm gonna do it. I'm about to do it. How do I do it? I don't know how to do it, Leilani. How do I put it on here? Hold on. Leilani, if you need your phone and you know how to do it, would you put the link in the thing in the Oh, all right, cool. Um, okay. Um, if you're wondering what I'm doing while I'm sitting there talking to you, I'm braiding my hair. That's what I'm doing with my hands. DC's not here, so I'm by myself talking. You know, I will ramble. But back to what I was saying. All these people, and we just focusing on Diddy right now because, his his place was raided and I think his what is the youngest two boys, the long headed boy and the light skinned boy. I don't know their name. Uh, they were in handcuffs. So you got your kids in this stuff now. So not only we're doing it, next generation, the next generation. I guess I've been just middle class Lisa for a very long time. So the idea of much like everybody else, I wish I could do this. I wish I could do that. I was independently wealthy and could buy my kids a house so they could start out with, it's high generational wealth and things. But I just been me. So when I see these things, because I feel like if I saw the guy next door and young girls were going in and out of the house all the time, I feel like I would have called police by now, regardless of whether or not they got mad with me. Because if you're a single older gentleman and you have young girls in and out of your house, and you have young girls that come in your house and don't go out your house, and men are always, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I would have said something. I feel like I would have said something. So I feel like if you're in a position that you're witnessing bad things happening and you're talking about it now, the whispers, there's always been whispers about Diddy. The whispers. Just like the whispers about Oprah, Tyler Perry, TD Jakes, all that going on. The whispers. But nobody just opens their mouth and say what the hell going on. You worried about it. So if you worried about it, why not say something about it? You have the resources. That's what gets me. These are people with resources. Now, you may not have all the Diddy resources, but you got your resources. And if you speak out and something happens, they're gonna look at Diddy. He ain't gonna do nothing to you. That's the reality of it. When you keep things a secret, when you keep things hidden, and people don't know about it, then there's nobody to back you up. There's nobody to have your back. There's nobody to say, well, so and so told me this, or so and so said he saw that. I got so and so back. I went with him. I saw it. Are you keeping the secrets because you secretly like what's going on? I wonder how many people have lived vicariously through Diddy. How many people maybe didn't have the resources to do what he did, but wish they did. And that's the sad part. That's another sad part about it. That's another sad part. Is we have become a society of if it's not me or mine, what does it matter? I don't think I like that. You know? I don't think I do. They say it takes a village to raise a child. I think sometimes it just takes a village. These people getting mixed up in situations that they don't even understand what could happen. Not just dying, not just one day disappearing, not just one day we ain't heard from y'all no more. Think about it. Think about how quickly somebody else comes in favor. Think about how quickly the next song becomes better than the last song, or the next actor is somebody we want to look at, or the next movie, how quickly things change favor. How quickly people change from being in your corner. You know what I mean? I just, I don't know. Hold on, yeah. Let's see. Hold on, hold on. Okay, still down there. Gotcha. Just make sure ain't nobody said nothing. Yeah, I took the glasses off because I only need them to read, so they just be sitting on my face. And then when I look off in the distance to them, it make my head hurt. That's why I take my glasses off. Y'all wonder why I keep talking about put my glasses back on. All right, so now I'm going to talk about Diddy because I'm going to tell you something. I read the court papers because I think it was somebody that he victimized had finally decided they'd had enough, and they went to, you know, somebody and decided, we're going to get Diddy. Cool. So what else is going on? For all those that don't know, I live in the DMV. And earlier this week, there was a ship that ran into a bridge and collapsed the bridge. Now, I know this is election time and everybody's making everything political. And we were like tripping because we thought it was fake. You know what I'm saying? We live here, and if you live in the DMV in the Maryland area, the reality is that it's a port city. So boating accidents of any kind are inevitable. It's just like car accidents, just like planes falling out the sky. But here's what got me. So I didn't know that. So this is how much I pay attention to the news, y'all. So don't be mad. I didn't know that the mayor of Baltimore was a young black man. He's 39 years old. And the the bridge collapse happened in the wee hours of the morning. So him being the mayor of the city, as soon as he was alerted to it, he came out. They went out to the area. They did the press conference thing that you have to do because the reality is the only thing that at that particular time they were trying to make sure is who was missing, who they could find, and who they could recover. That's the only thing they were worried about then, because the rebuilding of the bridge, hell, the getting the boat out of the way, that takes time. That was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was a 79,000 ton, not pound, ton ship that hit that bridge. Now, y'all know I love my TikTok and you read the internet and da 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 da. But here's what pissed me off. Baltimore is a predominantly black city. So let me start with that. And they have a black mayor. Okay. No sooner than the bridge collapsed, the racism started. Now, I don't understand that. It wasn't like the mayor down there and he shot a bomb and blew up the bridge. How did he make the bridge fall? How did the color of his skin make the bridge fall? How did racism come into the bridge falling? I can't, y'all. It is so much to talk about. It is so much that is jacked up. It, it's going to take years for that bridge to be rebuilt properly. It's going to take years. It's going to take millions, if not billions of dollars for it to be rebuilt. And we're focusing on having to listen to people who do not live here. And people who are not affected by the tragedy attack the color of somebody's skin. What the hell does that have to do with anything? And that really just lets me know the climate of the world. We don't work in reality here. We don't. There were six, right now that I know of, there were six construction workers who lost their lives. The reality is, it didn't matter what color the mayor was. Somebody's brother, husband, wife, sister, cousin, daddy was dead. Millions of people are going to have to figure out how to get back and forth to work who use that bridge. Money that could have went somewhere else is now going to have to be redirected to rebuild and a tragedy. But we have people who take this time to say that this is what happens when you have an affirmative action hire mayor. What? Flint, Michigan has went years without water. Their mayor is white. The governor is a man who should be able to fix the pipes and water. Nobody said anything about that. People lost their lives. People lost their livelihood. I don't normally speak on race and racism because it's a very charged topic. And because I grew up in the South, in the deep, dirty South, and because I've heard firsthand accounts, I have a great great grandmother that used to talk when I was growing up. So I've heard firsthand slave accounts. Children who my great grandmother was born on a slave plantation. My grandmother grew up in the South in the 20s and the 30s. When if you pissed off the wrong person, you could wake up to your son or your husband hanging from a tree in your front yard. So I don't go into racism and civil rights a lot because I am very pro Black Panther. I am very, but I also understand that we have to all live together and work together. So I don't understand how your first thought, away from the normal when something happens, our thoughts, prayers go outside. You disrespecting the people who lost their lives that night. Because anything other than we're sorry, our thoughts and prayers go out to you, we praying for you, we hope everything is okay. Anything other than comments like that is disrespectful to the people that lost their lives and families they left behind. I will not be one of those people. Can't imagine my wife going to work and she takes that bridge at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and I wake up to the bridge is collapsed, and not knowing whether my wife was on the bridge when it collapsed. I can't imagine my son was working construction on that bridge, and me waking up to the bridge collapse and not knowing whether my son is in the water or whether he's sitting on the side of the thing or whether they haven't found his body yet. These are the things that we think about. These are the people that should be getting our thoughts and our prayers and our feelings and our sentiments. To everybody else, fuck you. What else has been going on, y'all? What else? What else? What else? The Kite Show is in I think it's in DC. We went when me and DC first started dating. We took Nick. She used to do little stuff like that. It's very sweet. And one of the first things we did was we went to the kite show, took Nick, and we got yeah, set up chairs and we flew kites, and it was just me sitting there watching Nick and DC interact. It was good. It was yeah. Oh shit. It was so yeah. And it's Easter weekend. So I don't have to buy Easter clothes anymore. I used to have fun doing that. But I really want to make an Easter basket. I really still want to make Brittany and Nick Easter baskets. Are they too old for Easter baskets, y'all? I'm trying to get off all this sad stuff and all this miserable stuff and talk about something else, y'all. So if I just ramble out of the way, y'all just bring me back in. But I don't think they too old for Easter baskets. I think they should have Easter baskets. Now, I mean, you put different stuff in an adult Easter basket. I wouldn't put the same stuff in Brittany and Nick's Easter basket as I would put in Penelope's Easter basket. But I think your kids should. I don't know. That's just me. Because no matter how big and rusty my baby get, he's always going to be my baby. Brittany's always going to be my baby. No matter how old and how many kids she has. Because I'm always going to be mama. I'm never going to be friend. I'm always going to be mama. So I think they should have Easter baskets. But I didn't make one this year. So we will see. I still have a couple of days because Easter is Sunday. And I will get together and make baby bring me stuff for Easter basket, be the had a one up her for you. So we'll see. We will see. Um, I just kind of wanted to come back on here, y'all, and get my feet wet and come back because I know it's been a few weeks since I've been on here, and I kind of want to come back. We have a few videos we're going to make to explain my absence, and it's also going to be about us getting back out and doing things together and vlogging and getting back to DC and Lisa the way it used to be. Because it's been different for a few years. And that has a lot to do with me. And I'm hoping to get back to who I was and how I used to be. And, get back to making content for the Bomb Squad and having fun. I just wanted to come here and rant about those two situations. It's not safe out there, y'all. But we make it safe again because we got people running around this world that we love. We got to try to make it safe again. So, thank you guys for just listening to me. Thank you, Leilani. I know you're doing stuff, so you couldn't be my hostess with the mostest this time. I want to thank everybody who showed up and everybody who said hello. Thank you guys so much. Um, Thank you, Macy and Daisy and Eggman and Cool Gamer. This is my fixing. I know the basket thing. I really want to make the baskets, but hey, you know how it is. I think I don't know. I want to, but you never know. Then we can always make a post Easter basket with the cheap Easter candy. I'm just playing. Um, Thank you guys for listening to me, hanging around. If you hear this in the replay, thank you for listening to my video. If you have any thoughts, comment down below for me. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that anytime we go live, drop a video, DC vlogging. We got stuff coming up, people. Hey, it's getting ready to go down. I want to thank everybody for being a part of the Bomb Squad and just hanging out with me for this time. And this your girl Lisa, and I'm out. Peace. Hey, Simply Angie. I was getting ready to get off. I love you guys. Oh, too. Should I stay? I don't know. People have canes because I was getting off. That's crazy. I don't even know what to talk about. Thank you guys. I really appreciate the support over these years that we've been on YouTube, and you guys have rocked with us and hung out. and watch our kids grow up and watch their lives change. This is, when I get older, I'll be able to look back and I may not have picture albums, but I'll have YouTube albums of watching my son grow into a young man, grow into a old man. Shit, watching my daughter go from just the daughter to a wife to a mom. That's crazy. These are things you don't think about. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. I love you guys. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell. And we'll see you in the future videos. Peace.